My son said something so profound the other day. He said, you know, Mom, prayer to us is like medicine just waiting to kick in. Sometimes it just takes a while. And I was like, you know what, buddy? You're right. That is so precious. But then the more I thought about it, the more convicted I felt. Because when you start thinking about medicine, when you take medicine, you expect it to work, right? Like most of the time, if we have a headache and we take some Advil, we expect that within the next 30 minutes or so, the headache will be gone. So then that begs the question, why do we have more faith in Advil than we have in God? Because a lot of times when we pray, we're not expecting anything to happen. We're just kind of tossing our prayers in the air like pennies in a wishing well, hoping it works. There's no faith in those kind of prayers because faith is expectancy. It is waiting for something to happen. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. I had a dream one night not too long ago where everything I prayed came true. And when I woke up from that dream, God told me, you need to start praying, expecting me to do what you ask. But a lot of times we pray and we say things like, well, I hope God hears me. I hope God's going to come through for me. Baby, God already came through for you 2,000 years ago when he sent his son to pay for everything. And if God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, then logic would lead us to conclude that he's going to come through for you now too. Sometimes I think the only reason our prayers don't get answered is because we're not expecting them to work. And what does the Bible say? You will have whatever you say. If you say to the mountain, be moved, and believe it in your heart, it will be moved. But if you say it and there's no faith behind it, it doesn't work that way. And I know that a lot of people are held back by the fear of like, well, what if what I'm praying isn't in God's will? But the thing is, if you are walking with God every day, if you are spending time with him day in and day out, you're going to know what his will is because it's going to be on your heart. His desires become your desires when you spend time with him because he rubs off on people. And I hate to say it, but sometimes I think we use that as a crutch to not expect too much from God because we don't want our hearts to get broke if he doesn't come through. But that's not faith. So I want you to start praying, expecting the things you ask for to come true. And if it's not in God's will, you can figure that out later. But if you're doing your best to align with his will and pray in his will, and you know what his will is because you've read your word and you've studied and you've spent time with him, then go for it. Do not let anything hold you back, especially not fear, because we know that God did not give us a spirit of fear. That comes from somebody else. And if you're wanting to learn more about prayer, I have something I want to share with you. This is my book, 7 Days to a Life of Limitless, How to Ditch the Rules of Religion and Discover Unrestricted Freedom. In this book, I have a whole chapter on peace. And there is a little subheading that talks about 4 different kinds of prayer, the power of prayer, why prayer is important, all the good stuff. I am super, super passionate about helping people grow closer to God and having these perspective shifts that just help them understand him a little better. And I wrote it all down in this book. Now, you can also go to my page and look through 2 years of videos about everything that I've learned on this journey. But if you want it all in one place, you don't want to flip through all those videos, this would be a good resource for you. You can find it on TikTok Shop, on Amazon, or on my website, yourfriendcaitlin.com. Now, I want to challenge you to stop what you're doing right now and say a prayer, but this time, expect it to come true.